first 36 months working there, I made 1.5 million in net commissions. And after 3 years of being there, I just felt like called to, start my own thing, man.
Let's talk about the launch strategy.
So what I did was we put together a wait list. You gave me the funnel. I just copied like a template and, put my own copy on it. So filled up the wait list. The wait list got like, I want to say like 120, 130 signups. And then out of the first 15 calls I took, filled up the 12 spots. And then that was it, man. I realized the next skill set I need to learn is marketing, right? Because sales can make you rich. Marketing makes you freaking wealthy,
Yeah.
The thing we didn't talk about with me doing 100K my first 6 weeks was that I know how to.
Brandon Whiting, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Happy Tuesday, dude. Good to finally get this podcast interview going. I've been wanting to do this for a while with you because you came in hot to the mastermind, and it's been all sunshine and rainbows for the most part. There's been a few hiccups, obviously, in terms of the launch and everything. But dude, I want to have you share with my audience, dude, what's like quick backstory, who you are, what you do, and then we can kind of jump into it.
Yeah, man. So my story starts when I was around 20 years old, because up until that point I was just like a drifter, going with the flow of the wind. But I got into sales when I was 20. I got recruited at a bar by a guy who owned a car dealership. And then I did that for about 6 months, but I was trash at sales. I had no training. And he threatened to fire me one day when I came in for not hitting my quota. And that pissed me off. So I went to YouTube. I started looking up how to sell more cars. I found like Grant Cardone and all the other sales trainers. Started taking sales training, and over the next 18 months scaled to making like 15, 20K a month selling cars. And then got recruited by a popular influencer for the car sales industry. And that was 2022. That was midway through 2022. And I had no idea at the time, but I was getting recruited into high ticket sales. Like I was becoming a high ticket closer, right? So started out, was not good at that because didn't the skill set from car sales didn't translate well.
Hmm.
Um, so it was rough for the first like 6 months, but I started to study. I went down the YouTube rabbit hole. I realized like, damn, like this high ticket sales thing is like has been around like for a long time. Like there's a lot of pros out there. So I started to study, build my own sales process, and then over like my first 36 months working there, I made 1.5 million in net commissions. And after 3 years of being there, I just felt like called, by the higher power to start my own thing, man. And now I help in-person sales reps get into high ticket sales, have a smoother transition than me, you know?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So you went from doing it in another business, selling high ticket for a company through their programs and offers and courses and everything. And then like what do you think, and we'll get into like obviously the coaching and everything you do now, but like tell me about how it was when you were at that job still,
Mm-hmm.
and like what was the point where you were like feeling that call? Like when did that happen exactly?
Man, that's a great question. I mean, I don't know. I think like, you start to like really get invested. Like I tell my wife this all the time, but like every year of my life, like every New Year's Eve when the clock turns, I'm like, I feel like this year I'm actually going to take my life serious. And like even though I know I've been taking it serious for a while, but like I feel like I'm actually going to start taking it serious, right?
Yeah.
And so every year progressively, like from when I was 20 and I got into car sales, I didn't really care, about anything. I didn't care about being successful. By 21, I was like more invested. 22, 23. Every year that's gone on, I've been more invested in my success. And I've been thinking more long term about like what I actually want to do and be known for, and more intentional about it. So like as time went on, I kind of realized like I just assessed my own values and what I wanted to stand for. And
Mm,
I just realized like there was a little bit of misalignment. Um, and then, also you just start thinking bigger, man. Like
mm.
when you want to make 10K, you're like, hey, maybe I can make 10K one day. And then you get there and you think when you're at 5K that once you hit 10K, you're going to be like on the mountaintop. Like you're just going to be like you're going to be able to
Yeah.
do everything you ever wanted, fly private jets
Yeah.
and stuff. And I got to 10, then 20, then 50K a month. And I kept being like, dude, like, I'd listen to guys like yourself and I'd be like, could I own a 7-figure a month business one day?
Mm.
for a $500,000 a month business one day, or even multiple six figures. Like, is that possible for me? And
Mm.
then, once that idea was planted in my head, it was like, it was over from there. Cause it's like, I'm the type of guy, which if you're going to make it far in sales, like you got to be this way, right? When I see somebody else doing something, I'm like, I think I could do that. I got to at least figure out, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah. And then I'm just not very attached. Like, I think a lot of people are like so obsessed with what everybody else thinks,
Mm.
and they're afraid to give up something if it's kind of good for something
Yeah.
great. And
Yeah.
honestly, like I just don't care. Like when I left, I was like, I could fail, and honestly, I'd be totally fine with that. I don't really care. I could
Yeah.
succeed, and that'd be great. But I'm willing to take my chances,
It's so funny you say that because that's exactly very similar to my story as well. And that's what we connected on as well, because I used
Yeah.
to work for a company previously for almost 3 years, and I was with them, and I was very much attached actually. And I didn't want to leave, but I saw the bigger opportunity. I saw the next level for me. I saw the clients wanting to work with me and the business I could build on my own by
Yeah.
myself and the company. And then that ate at me the longer I kept at that job, and I kept just pushing
Exactly.
that feeling down. And
Yeah.
then until one day, like I just couldn't hold it down anymore. And then it came to the surface, and I basically had a breakdown in a way where
Yeah.
eventually I had to make a decision, and I knew it was going to be a risk either way. But I was like, well, what's the risk I'm going to take? It's like I can either do it and say I tried in it and then it failed, or
Yeah.
I can never try, never know, and then always have regret. And then I'm glad, obviously, I did. 2 weeks later, I quit that job,
Yeah.
and 5 years later, here we are. So was it similar to you? Like, obviously, you weren't attached, but like, was it still like a number of weeks and maybe even months before you finally just made the jump?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, I was making like last year I made 650K, right?
Yeah.
And also obviously like when you move businesses or you start your own business, like, there's a relationship side of things too. Like when you make a move like that, like there's a lot of things to consider, right?
Mm.
Relationships that you're going to probably have to give up, money
Yeah.
you got to give up. Like, so I had to consider all that. And it did take a couple months. And it's funny because like that's how you and I connected is like, I just like totally hit you up because I was like, dude, you own a business? Like, what's it been like? How do you start it? And then I realized it's like, oh my God, do we have the same exact story? That's crazy, you know? But
Yeah.
yeah, dude, it was because, and I literally like I've been thinking about this lately. It's like so many people are scared to like give up, like take a few steps back to take some
Mm.
steps forward,
Yeah.
because like my wife owns a business too that we've bootstrapped. Thank God for sales. Like I was able to like fund freaking 40, $50,000 in startup costs out of my bank account for that business, right?
Yeah.
But with both of us running businesses, man, like, it can be tough. Like it's a lot of work, right? But I keep reminding myself, I'm like, dude, this is why most people never do this because
Yeah.
it's a,
Yeah, you went from 650 a year, like basically, sales commission job, but it's like a opportunity that's amazing. Most people would never leave that, making that kind of money
yeah,
for the bigger opportunity, which is to be your own boss, to have your own company, to create your own offer, and to see what else you can do, right? To challenge yourself, to push yourself.
yeah.
And so talk about that now. So it's been what, like almost what, a little maybe under like just under 3 or 4 months, maybe under 4 months.
Yeah, it's been 4 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Almost to the
Yeah.
date, 4 months.
So 4 months, and you joined the mastermind right after you basically went all in on your business, and
Mhm.
you were figuring it out. And then I think within the first 5 weeks, correct me if I'm wrong, but like you collected like over 100 grand in cash.
Yeah, it was about 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
talk about that. Like, what was that initial 6 weeks like after you made the leap? And
Yeah.
like, what allowed you to hit that goal? Because that's again, 100K in cash, new business owner for yourself in 6 weeks.
Yeah. Well, man, I think like when I was at my last job, I did consult for a lot of like online coaches, right? Um, but when you do it for yourself, it's different, right? So when I originally got into it, there was like I realized that there's people that take blind action, like people that execute way too early. And then it's not like you're one or the other. It's like a continuum, right? Some people execute way too early with zero preparation, and
Yeah.
that can be detrimental. And then there's some people that are way too much of a perfectionist that want everything
Yeah.
to be perfect, right? And I definitely lean more towards the perfectionist. Like I'm kind of analytical. So like, um, I was like waiting for everything to be perfect, and I wasn't sure. I was like, man, before I launch, I got to be exactly sure how the next 10 years is going to look, like what I'm going to do, like, so
Yeah.
I was like, I was kind of in that mind frame. And then, you know, I remember, and actually I tell people this all the time. This was like one of the best course corrections you gave me, like the best mindset shift. I was like, bro, like I got to figure out what I'm going to do for the next decade. And like, I got to have all this planned out. And you're like, dude, you're figuring it the fuck out. Like that's what a business owner does, bro. Like welcome
Yeah.
to being a business owner. And I don't know why, dude. It's so funny because like people are like, what's the tactical nuggets you got? And I'm like, that I'm figuring it the fuck out.
Yeah.
That was some of the best advice I got because I was like, damn, like that's so true. Like I was like trying to perfect everything. So after we talked, you were like, bro, launch an offer,
Yeah.
take on people. You have integrity. You're gonna deliver for people,
Hmm.
and you're gonna figure it out as you go. So then that like freed me from like, trying to be perfect. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to launch an offer. I have an organic audience. I built up some credibility. So like I just did it completely organically, right? Like through my Instagram and like my Facebook and stuff like that. And yeah, man, we put together an offer, a group program, something that follows the 3S formula, you know?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Exactly.
one
And
person, one problem, one way, and it was killer, man. Like we launched and filled it up really fast, and it's now I'm just trying to scale that program.
yeah, and here's the cool part for those people listening too. It's like that's so freeing, like you said. It's like sometimes we always get in our head and we're like, oh, I need to have 3-year plan, 10-year plan, 5-year plan. But it's like when you go all in on yourself as an entrepreneur, you kind of just have to have the next like 90 days at least, like minimum. That's all you really need because then that gives you enough leeway and runway to figure out the next thing. But for you, it was cool because you had so much experience already, right? High ticket sales. You could do a number of things. So I can imagine how I remember when we talked, it was like kind of overwhelming because you're like, I could do this, I could do that, I want to do this, I want to do
Exactly.
that. And I was like, do it. Like try all these things. But again, just know that when you focus on the one thing, it'll grow so much quicker. And so that's what you did. And let's talk about the launch strategy because yes, you had the organic Instagram, right?
Yeah.
But talk about like the wait list funnel and and the launch model because I really believe that's what allowed you to be able to fill it with 12 people that signed up immediately, basically,
Yeah.
and collect that. Because had you not done it and you just did like, okay, hey, I'm doing this new thing, book a call, it wouldn't have had the same
Yeah.
hype, right?
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. So like I think that it leverages scarcity and authority, right?
Mm,
Because you know, so what I did was we put together a wait list. So I got on my story, and like I don't have a huge social media following, but like my stories will get 1,000, 2,000 views, right? Um, and it's all salespeople. It's all like my ideal clients.
yeah.
So
So to be
I,
very clear,
yeah,
the offer that you launched for everyone listening is it was a how to become a high ticket online sales rep and not have to sell in
exactly.
person, learn the skill, and potentially land a job doing that skill and working from basically your own home.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
Car salesman, door to door reps, just like I was transitioning to high ticket sales, right?
yeah,
But yeah, so like, I got on my story. I was like, hey, making a huge announcement on Monday. On Monday, I was like, hey, in a week or something, I'm opening up my program. I'm gonna take limited spots. Here's the wait list. I think you gave me the funnel. I just copied like a template and put my own copy on it. I'd say that's something I've definitely been working on too is the copy. Right? I
yeah,
have you
yeah,
audit sales pages all the time, and sometimes you'll
yeah,
give me feedback. And I'll be like, dude, how could this guy say this shit to me? Like, what the fuck, bro? But then I'm like, that's what I need to hear. I'm
yeah,
like, I thought it was perfect, but yeah, so filled up the wait list. The wait list got like, I want to say like 120, 130 signups.
yeah,
I was like, damn, okay, this will be cool. Um, and then a week went by, and on the launch date, I just sent out like the whole week of ever as people would sign up for the wait list, like I was every day sending them propaganda, right?
yeah,
I'd send them, hey, here's an idea what's coming,
yep,
here's what the offer is going to look like. Here's someone in the past who followed my guidance, and here's the results I got. Hey, here's what common concerns you may be thinking right now as we lead up to this launch. Hey, here's how you can determine whether this is going to be for you or not. Like every day, I was just emailing and texting out to the wait list to try to get them closer to the buying decision, right? Get them more primed. And then on the day that I opened it up, I first sent an email and text to the wait list, and I was like, "Hey, great news! Enrollment's open for you. Get a 12-hour you get 12-hour access before I go public with it. Here's your link to book a call." I had like 30 people book calls, and I DQ'd like half of them because I just was like, I was trying to be really specific. Like I was trying to keep it to sales reps that have already made over 100K and are talent, like have some talent. And then out of the first 15 calls I took, filled up the 12 spots, and then that was it, man. So
Yeah. Huge sellout, big win, and way to come out with the bang. Like I said in the very beginning, it's like that's a huge win. And now you're on your second cohort. You're about to go evergreen with ads as well. And let's talk about fulfilling on the offer and like because we were talking before the podcast and the video started, and you were saying how now for like the second cohort, like this because this is your first basically course and online program you really sort of created, right? And
exactly, yeah,
so the first one got a ton of results. You've had people that are already been placed in a high ticket sales role, like they're
yeah,
getting not only the skill from you, and if they haven't had it already, but now they're getting the placement help from you to connect them with your network of just opportunities that you have available if they come available. And then the second cohort you're saying the course is even better. So talk about that. Like, how has that been navigating the fulfillment of it? Because it's one thing to sell it, right? Like, okay,
yeah.
100K cash, in 6 weeks, amazing. 12 spots open, closed, boom, sell out. But then the fulfillment of it is like getting the result. And that's the biggest thing you and I have been talking about. You've been telling me, like, I'm just so obsessed with getting these clients results. Talk about
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so like the biggest thing for me is client results. Like again, if I can't get most of my students results as long as they do what's required of them, like I don't even want to do anything. Like
Yeah.
I'll pivot industries if I have to, but I realized I don't have to do that. I just have to build the best program out there, right?
Mm,
And also I know my industry really well, and most of like my competitors, they have a low success rate, right? It's like 10 to 20% of students ever end up landing a job. And I'm like, if I can't get that success rate and like double, triple, quadruple it, like I'm going to do something else. Right.
yeah.
So I realized I could pivot or I could just provide the best product. Right. So, yeah. And like one of the things that you told me that really stuck with me was like, dude, if you don't feel, cause leading up to like when the launch after I collected all the revenue, I was like really worried about fulfillment.
Yeah.
And you were like, bro, if you don't feel worried about fulfillment, like that's a bad sign, right? As a business owner, like you're always going to be worried about that, right? So I went really hard. I put, I gave my best effort to lay a solid learning path for the first group of students. And I did have to make iterations along the way because I wanted to continue to make the program better. And I was taking feedback from students every week, like, hey, how can we make this better?
Yeah.
Well, I took everything that they gave me, um, and I applied it to like this next program, right? So yeah, it's been really good. Like, getting better at creating course content.
Hmm.
Um, I made a lot of adjustments to the program. Like I doubled the length of it, took it from 8 to 16 weeks, and now it's like a three-phase program. It's like giving them the skills, helping them get placed, and then giving them support during ramp up, like after they land an offer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
100%.
yeah, man. So
Yeah, it's cool because when you follow like the waitlist launch formula, like the
yeah,
same playbook that you launched this with, it's the best path and way for you to create the best program because yeah, like you said earlier, it's like fulfillment being the biggest like worry that we always have.
yeah,
But that's the whole point of following the cohort launch system because then you can have a wait list, get people to raise their hand saying, I'm interested,
yeah,
launch it to the wait list first, get them to book a call, enroll members immediately, and then go publicly to fill out the remaining spots. And
yeah,
then before the first week starts, all you got to do is go week by week by week by week until the end of the
yeah,
program because you don't really want to create 8 weeks worth of content before you actually speak to anybody because then you
exactly.
don't know what they actually want, what questions they have, what problems they're running into. So
Yeah,
I think it's the best way to do it. And like you said, you've done it. They're already getting results. They're getting placed. They're happy. They love working with you. And now the next iteration of that same program
yeah,
becomes even better because now you have a bunch more people that are going to come through. So
Exactly.
I don't think a lot, I think we were talking about this before earlier, like you said with the competitors and stuff. I don't think a lot of other, high ticket sales coaches, which, seems saturated today. Like it's funny because I remember at one point with adspend.com, we were getting like at least one or two people that sell high ticket coaching to sales reps or something like for like a 2 month straight. And I was like, how is this offer doing so well? But what I realized is everybody like for example, the reason why it works and the reason why it will still work is because you have the story nobody else does. You have the experience doing it as a job and making 650K a year, but also you have the network to be able to connect these people to actually get legitimate jobs in the industry. And I just feel like this, it's just so congruent to you. That's the reason why it's working so
Yeah.
well.
Agreed. Like to what you said on the launch strategy, like I completely agree. I think it's like the best way to start a coaching program because
Yeah.
like obviously if you're going to scale, like you got to have a group program. Like you got to have a scalable high ticket group program, right?
Mhm.
That follows the 3S formula. When I heard that, I was like, damn, that's so good.
Specific person, specific problem, specific way,
Yes.
because the specific person, if you're not clear on who they are, you're
Yeah.
going to be you're going to be selling, you know, car sales reps, and then like the mattress person down the street, right? Which again, that's it. It just got to be very specific for cold traffic,
Yeah.
specific problem. What's the problem you're solving for that specific person, and then the specific way. Because when you have all three of those, then you can scale the fulfillment as well.
Exactly. Yep. And see, like when you first start, like you think you know your customer and what they need, but you have no fucking clue, right? And
Yeah.
that was a struggle for me because like I was like describing this to somebody the other day. I was like, bro, so I'm learning paid ads. And like the guy that I was talking to like doesn't know anything about it. I was like, imagine if I told you, hey bro, set up a campaign, have 3 ad sets, CBO, um, run dynamic creative, um, and then scale it. And he's like, I'm like, you see how like as soon as I started to overwhelm your brain, like you rejected all of it. That's how
Yeah.
your students take it when you're like speaking in techno babble, right? Like you're talking these high level terms but not defining anything. So like me, it was a challenge for me to like take everything I learned and try to and simple it down to like where a fifth grader could figure it out, right?
Hmm.
But that's why I like the launch strategy, yeah, because it's like, you get to run people through it, you get to kind of test it. And
Hmm.
with a small group, if you do make mistakes or you got to make iterations, like it's not a big deal, and you
Yeah.
can help you can work with people hands on if you need to. And like it's been really good. Like that was I'm glad I did it that way. I think it's like the best way to start. And the thing is, right? If you're starting and you have zero social media following, then you might have to do it differently. You might have to run some follower ads or just go straight for the paid, if you have the funding to do that. But like if someone has like 2,000, 1,000 followers on a social
Hmm.
media platform, you might as well just start with the launch first, right? Because if you have zero followers, you have no credibility to get people to pay you. You might need to take maybe a free cohort, right? 5 people for
Yeah.
free.
Yeah.
But if you have even a little bit of social influence on a platform, it's like you can get people to pay you money for a result if your credibility's there.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. It's a great strategy for the right audience and the right person at the right time. And it works. It's like it creates the urgency and scarcity. It gets you the feedback you need to create a good program and fulfillment. And
Yeah.
then now you're at a point, Brendan, where, yeah, like after this next cohort and, heading into the new year, like you're going to be able to start running ads. So let's talk about that, right? Like, are you excited to actually start running ads for your own offer?
Dude, I'm pumped. Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like here's the thing, right? Like I've been doing sales for like a total of like 5 years, 5.5 years or something like that now. High ticket for 3.5 going on 4, right?
Mm,
And like when I first got into that, I was obsessed with it, right? Still am. But, like I've learned a lot about it. And like I realized the next skill set I need to learn is marketing, right? Because
mm,
sales can make you rich, marketing makes you freaking wealthy.
yeah.
So I realized like I need to get really good at that. So I've been enjoying learning that. And like again, bro, like I just like playing the game. Like I'm not trying to get rich like tomorrow. I'm not trying to like, have a fast money grab. I'm trying to like get good. That's all I want
Yeah.
to do. I want to get good, you know? So I'm excited to test and iterate and figure out, what works. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. It's going to be cool because you're going to be the best case study for how to all like how to tap into an already super sophisticated sort of saturated market and then find this pocket where you just straight collect a bunch of just clients that have already just seen it but didn't buy it from others, and then you're just taking their market share because like people would hear this and they're like, oh, it's another high ticket sales rep, right? Coaching sales reps. But it's like,
Yeah.
but dude, the thing is that with the right ad at the right person at the right time and the right messaging and the right angle, like we're going to be able to take the market share and just capitalize on it from all the other people that are just not servicing their clients directly, not giving them good results and getting them placed, like not helping them even land a job. Like it's just going to be cool because then nobody can say anything about like, oh, my market's too saturated. It's like, well, no, Brendan, look at what he did, right? He tapped
Yeah.
into the remote sales marketplace that's, been around, but he found this pocket and he's now scaled it and he's dominating it.
Hell yeah, bro. Looking forward to that.
Well, dude, why don't we wrap it up here? But dude, what do you think for like the people out there that like they're following me, right? But maybe they're thinking about, okay, hey, I want to learn marketing, but maybe I need to go to like sales first. And I'm kind of setting you up here because I learned door-to-door sales first. Like I
Yeah.
didn't start as a marketer. I had to go door to door, knock on
Yeah.
doors, and like ask people for money that didn't even know me, right? Didn't even want to talk to me. And
Yep.
that built a lot of confidence for me too. I had to do cold calling, do all these things. And that obviously allowed me to be the person I am today. I didn't learn marketing till afterwards. So wouldn't you agree that it makes more sense to probably learn sales first and then marketing next once you can actually sell something that you can market?
100%. Like, the thing we didn't talk about with me doing 100K my first 6 weeks was that I know how to sell, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
the missing link for
Yeah.
you know, anybody that didn't connect the dots. But you know, yeah, because I think that if we're talking like a new coach starting up, like the number one thing that stops them from growing is they don't want to sell their own offer, right?
Yeah.
Like if you don't have like sales to me is like the foundational must have, like it's the it's the entry point. You got to start there, right? Like cuz like think about it like this, like if you want to grow a coaching business from 0 to 100K a month, like you could technically never sell your own offer, like try to hire closers and setters right out of the gate, but it's going to be way harder and you're going to probably
Mhm.
give up a big portion of your business to even get there, right? So if
Yeah.
you're going to get there on your own, like you're going to have to get in the trenches and learn how to sell, you know?
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think sales is the foundational skill, and then after that, like it's marketing, right? But yeah,
Yeah. And then for all the people out there that are doing sales right now, but they haven't adapted to this online high ticket sales world as well, like this is where you come in perfectly because it's like you can still do the same job you're doing in person, but over a Zoom call like we are right now and
yeah,
collect cash virtually without even having to be in the specific location the customers are, which is amazing.
exactly.
And yeah, I just couldn't be more excited for you to tap into this market even more. And yeah, sales and marketing, they go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. With good marketing, you can't close the leads. Like that's the biggest problem we always have at adspend.com sometimes, or
Yeah,
we've had previously, was we would get them all these leads and then the sales team would drop the ball. So it's like you need both. You need the sales skill first, then the marketing comes second. And like you said, most people they would overlook that. But thankfully in the admin mastermind, you got to be making a minimum of 30K a month, which means you have a specific offer for a specific person, solving a specific problem a specific way, and then now they're looking to scale it with ads. So you were the exception, and you came in with already skills and knowledge, and I knew you were going to crush it, and you have been. So, dude, why don't you tell the people what's next for you, and then where they can find you if they want to work with you?
yeah, man. I mean, just trying to scale the program and help a lot of people and build a good reputation in the space. But yeah, so my Instagram is official Brendan Whiting, BrendanWhiting, and that's pretty much like my main platform. So
Yeah, go follow
check out the
Brendan,
IG.
watch his stuff. He's posting a ton of amazing short form content now. He's got a team doing everything. They're dialed in, and go check him out. Go give him a like, and make sure to keep on his journey. And Brendan, thank you so much for doing this, bro.
Oh yeah, bro, absolutely.
All right, man. We'll talk soon.
Hi, dog.